good morning, and welcome to Political Paula 2019. I've got some amazing shows for you this season, and they're not all political, really. In fact, our first series of shows is not going to be political at all. I'm not going to talk about Trump or immigration or any of that crap. I am going to talk about things that I believe all of you out there, myself included, have been going through or have gone through in our life. I'll give you some of my opinions, some of my theories, some of my conspiracy theories, which I'm always happy to share with everybody. And hopefully we can share together our experiences. I think many of you will recognize yourselves in some of these upcoming shows. Even today's show is a really big one for shared experiences. That's what I'm going to try to do this season, is get you guys involved. And in order to do that, I'm going to need more time to actually talk and debate with you. So we're going to do two shows. We're going to do two shows, Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern and Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Now, of course, today is Thursday. Happy New Year, everybody. I was off on New Year's Day. So next week, there will be a two-part show on kind of a related topic that I think a lot of you are going to really associate with, as well as today's show. So Tuesday, 10 a.m. Eastern, and then Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Because my shows this season are going to require me to do some homework. I'm going to be doing some research. And so I'm looking forward to that. So let's just get right down to it. Today's show is titled, Is Our Food Poisoning Us? Now, I have a list here of several illnesses, and these are chronic illnesses that millions of people all over the world experience more frequently today than they did 50 years ago, or even 25 years ago, really. These are illnesses that when I was growing up, I knew nobody who had a lot of these illnesses. Some of them I did, but some of these ones, I mean, really. So here's my list, first of all. Okay, IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome, and I listed that one as number one because I believe I have it. And the reason I believe I have it will become clear to you as we go on. I have not been diagnosed with it because, again, the testing for it, the diagnostic testing for it, is very, very, very unpleasant and something that I'm not willing to do. But I have a really good friend who has irritable bowel syndrome. And when we talk, I realize that I have the same issues she has when I eat the same foods she does that causes her breakouts. Okay? So I got irritable bowel syndrome, gallbladder, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, heart disease, colon cancer. That's the only cancer I have, but there could be other cancers in on this one too. Diabetes, Crohn's disease, colitis, and pancreatitis. Now, something is interesting because, again, I told you, research. When I Google most of these illnesses, what I get, like I'll ask a specific question, like what foods shouldn't I eat if I have IBS? And the first thing that comes up is an advertisement for a prescription drug that manages irritable bowel syndrome. Well, see, I don't want a prescription drug. I want to know what foods I should avoid. And believe me, they are aplenty. Just like with diabetes. If you Google diabetes, you get all these drug advertisements. Farxiga, metformin. There's one with an O. They even have a song for it. The TV ads all day long. The TV. If you have Crohn's disease, if you have IBS, if you have colitis, this is the drug for you. Guess what? Maybe you don't need the drugs. One viewer messaged me saying they were just diagnosed with diabetes. And they said that the doctor immediately prescribed a prescription drug. And when the viewer said, well, what about supplements? What about there's, some things I've been reading about? Oh, the doctor said, I don't believe in supplements. But he sure as hell believes in prescription drugs. Maybe his wife wants to go on that cruise the pharmaceutical company is offering. The more patients he pushes their drugs onto. At the end of the day, most of these diseases, including heart disease, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol, are either caused by or exacerbated by what we put into our mouths. And I'm not talking about cigarettes or alcohol here. I'm talking about food. Food. When you think about what someone with some of these illnesses is forced to throw out of their pantry, well, it's just about everything. No more pasta, no more rice, no more potatoes. It's like, oh my God, what the hell can you eat? No bread. Then they're like, well, you can have like the whole wheat pasta. You know what whole wheat pasta is good for? Because I've tried it. When I was trying to lose weight, I thought it was going to be good for me. Yeah, I've tried whole wheat pasta. I've tried whole wheat crackers and whole wheat bread. You know what you do with that? You take the pasta, you throw it in the trash, and you eat the box. Because the box has more flavor than the pasta. These things have no flavor. And if I have to live in a world without pasta, I don't want to live. And that's the honest to God's truth, okay? Do you know what sets off my IBS? If that's exactly what I have, but it is. I mean, there's the only explanation. At first I thought colon cancer, and then I'm like, nah, that wouldn't go away. Mayonnaise. Now see, to me, mayonnaise is a food group. I cannot eat a hoagie or a sandwich of any kind without mayonnaise. I put mayonnaise on my French fries. You know why? Because it's good. I'm not living in a world without mayonnaise. But I will pay for it when I eat it. The good news is, I know I'm going to pay for it. But they all say that cleansing is good. And when I have mayonnaise, I get a good cleanse. It's not fun. I'm up all night. But it's other foods too. Now, and I blame age. I blame my age. I'm getting old. I'm 54 years old. And the foods that I used to be able to eat and enjoy and love, even though I keep my weight low and I only eat these foods in moderation, well, they don't like me so much anymore. Or my body doesn't like them. My taste buds adore them. Deep fried food. Real French fries. Not the kind you throw in the oven, the Ore-Ida crap. Real French fries in oil, in duck fat. Those are French fries. And they're delicious. And up all night long. Yep. All night long. Not pleasant. But, is it worth it? Once or twice a month? Yeah. Because I like French fries. I like fried chicken. I like chicken wings. I like cheeseburgers. And I like mayonnaise on my cheeseburgers. But here is the big thing. The food. The food. The food. You know, everybody's saying, quit smoking, it's going to kill you. Well, I'll tell you something about my cigarettes, right? They've never been recalled. I've never been told that my cigarettes contain E. coli and that people are dropping dead from smoking just one of my cigarettes. No, not happening. But remember what happened last month, right around Thanksgiving, with the romaine lettuce? People were dying because they ate a salad. Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? Oh, you smoke cigarettes. You're killing all of us. Well, you just ate a salad. You're going to die tonight. You're going to learn today. Don't eat that salad. You eat a burger at a fast food joint. Oh, we've just recalled those burgers. They have the E. coli. Do you know what E. coli is? It's cow shit. And it's in your food. And that's why people get sick and people die from it. From eating food. Oh yeah, you don't need cigarettes to live. You don't need alcohol to live. But I never had my box of white Zinfandel recalled because it had E. coli in it. Because some lettuce picker had dirty hands. And you know what else I never had? Saddlebrook, New Jersey. Did you hear this on the news? People went into this health surgery center in Saddlebrook, New Jersey, and between January of 2018 and September of 2018, and right at Christmas time, they got a letter from this hospital in Saddlebrook, New Jersey. Well, happy holidays. You might have AIDS. See, between January of 2018 and September of 2018, they didn't properly sterilize their needles, their scalpels, their surgical instruments. So thousands of people right now who have had no risky behaviors, they've done nothing. They don't use the drugs, the heroin, the shared needles. They did nothing but go to a hospital and trust them to be sterile. These people now have to spend the next year, Happy New Year, getting tested for AIDS. Are you kidding me right now? And do you know what that means, by the way? That means you can't have unprotected sex, even with your own spouse. It means that you can't just get one AIDS test, because remember, AIDS test, it's like a year. Because it can hibernate in your body before it just explodes into actual HIV positive status. So these people's 2019, they're screwed. Imagine that. And imagine that the exposure came from a place that they trusted with their very lives. I swear, hospitals are where people go to get sick. But yet, God forbid you light a cigarette within 500 blocks of a hospital and you get a fine. You get arrested. That's illegal. But they can infect people with HIV and also hepatitis B and C. They need those tests too. Because they can't properly clean their utensils, their equipment. You got food that is poisoned because of the way it's treated by whatever process, probably to make it cheaper or make it last longer, but the food is poison. Lettuce is poison. Eat more greens, eat more salad. Really? Do I really want to trust a pack of romaine lettuce right now? I haven't had romaine lettuce since that outbreak. We do the iceberg now in our house. And we do spinach. Although, remember about a year or two ago, it was the spinach that was contaminated. And then it was the avocados. Avocados from Mexico. Yeah. Okay, no thank you. But think about this. It's all the healthy food that's contaminated. So yeah, I'll take my cheeseburger with the mayo. I'll take my gyro with the tzatziki sauce and the French fries with mayo and the hot wings with blue cheese dressing. Because that shit never gets recalled. I will smoke my cigarettes and drink my white Zinfandel. That shit never gets recalled. See, I'd like my death to be far off in the future. Not tonight, because I decided to eat healthy and get a salad. Okay? Just saying. And we need to think about this. Why? Why now? Because back in the day, okay? Back in the day, nobody got E. coli. Nobody got sick from eating a salad. Nobody actually had colitis or Crohn's disease or gallbladder was a big deal, but all these illnesses that have to do directly with what we're eating. Now, of course, most of you are going to say the chemicals in the food. And I agree with you to a point, except it's lettuce, people. It's lettuce. I go to the store, I buy some romaine lettuce. It's wilted and brown and rotting within 4 days. So there's no chemicals in that lettuce that could possibly make it last longer. I wish there was, because boy, I throw a lot of lettuce away because I can't eat a whole thing of lettuce in 4 days. But we're talking about lettuce. We're talking about ground beef that can be frozen. And we're talking about the fact that our food is what's causing these illnesses or exacerbating them. And what kind of a life would we live? I mean, I hear people all the time talking about what they don't eat. People who are gluten-free. I have one friend who loved shrimp, loves it. And all of a sudden, at age 30, like 20 years ago, she had always eaten shrimp. She had the anaphylactic shock from the shrimp. As an adult, as a 30-year-old, all of a sudden her body no longer could process shrimp. Why? And she didn't have any disease, but all of a sudden now she's allergic to shellfish. Why? Her body's fine. She doesn't have cancer, she doesn't have diabetes, she doesn't have Crohn's disease, nothing. My guess is the shrimp changed. What else could it be? Or is it just that one of the blessings of getting older is that all of a sudden you just can't enjoy the foods you used to? Now, I have often done shows about it's not about the food, idiots, that we should be worried more about our weight, keeping a nice weight, not being obese. Obesity is killing people too. But when someone like me, who is a normal weight, or someone like my friend, again, a normal weight, is told or finds out, guess what? Mayonnaise makes you sick. Gyros make you sick. Do you know how good gyros are? They're really, really good. Do you know how good French fries are? They're really good. So are wings. So is blue cheese dressing. So is coleslaw. A life without those things, in moderation, is not a life. For diabetics out there, no pasta, no rice, I thought it was about sugar. And yet, what people say is that a lot of the foods we eat turn into sugar in our bodies. Things you wouldn't even think of, like red beets. Like potatoes. Potatoes, there's no sugar in a potato, but in the body, it turns into sugar. Can you imagine a life without spaghetti, without fettuccine alfredo? I can't. I won't. So I guess, basically, a lot of these diseases, which of course there's a prescription drug for every one of them, which again, I'm not a prescription drug person, so that's not going to happen either. What we can do for all these diseases is say, look, first of all, the gallbladder, it can come out as long as you find a doctor who can actually diagnose gallbladder. Because see, again, gallbladder, and we're going to do a show about this. A gallbladder means the patient can be cured. And first day of medical school, doctors are told, I got this from Facebook, a cured patient is a lost customer. So I have a friend who had gallbladder disease and was insisted by her doctor. She had acid reflux. And she was on prescription medication for acid reflux, a disease she never had. But I guess he and his wife got that cruise the farm companies give out to people who prescribe a lot of their drugs. My friend, however, almost died from sepsis because her gallbladder not only was diseased, but because her doctor refused to even consider gallbladder as why she was so sick every time she ate food, was because she was on prescription drugs for 6 months. Drugs she never needed. And by the time she did find out it was her gallbladder, she had to go to the emergency room. And instead of being in and out Most people who have gallbladder surgery these days, it's an outpatient surgery. It's easy. I have other friends who've had their gallbladder out at 7 in the morning, and by 10:30, they're at home on their sofa drinking wine and smoking cigarettes, and they're just relaxing. They're fine. My friend was in the hospital for 2 days on antibiotics, on morphine for pain. The morphine made her blood pressure go extremely low. This was all because her doctor insisted that she had a disease she never had. So he could prescribe her a script medication she never needed. And God only knows what that prescription did to her body during those 6 months. I know she lost 45 pounds because she could not eat food. And the doctor knew all this and continued to say it was acid reflux. Stuck a tube down her throat. An endoscopy. You know how invasive that is? Do you know how the gallbladder is diagnosed? It's an x-ray. You drink some water, you get an ultrasound, no pain, no worries. It's such an easy test, and it costs about $200. Which, to get well, my friend would have gladly paid out of pocket, even though her insurance would have paid for it. But the doctor wouldn't even think about gallbladder. And yet, after her first attack, I said it's gallbladder. Because my mother had it. My cousins have had it. I know what gallbladder looks like. You have gallbladder disease. No, doctor says. Well, sometimes doctor be wrong. That's the other problem. Remember at the beginning of the show when I said this one doctor told my viewer, I don't believe in supplements, but here's a script for a pharmaceutical drug. See, that's when you say, maybe I should find another doctor. Seriously. Because I would think, and again, you have to be your own advocate. I would think if you have any of these, and the only thing your doctor is willing to do for you is give you a script drug with all the side effects, and by the way, the side effects for the drugs for some of these diseases actually cause the disease. There are IBS drugs that actually say causes diarrhea, cramping, nausea, upset stomach, vomiting. That's IBS. Why would I take a prescription drug that actually gives me more IBS? I already have the IBS. I don't need more IBS. I need IBS to go away so I can eat mayonnaise, damn it. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Many of these illnesses, if you calm down, can be controlled by simply cutting down, not cutting out, cutting down. No, you don't want to eat mayonnaise every day. I don't eat mayonnaise every day, although I could. And I know ahead of time that if I'm going to eat mayonnaise, there's a really good chance I may not sleep so good tonight. Or tomorrow morning I'll wake up and it's going to be like, yep, give me some time in here. I know we only have one bathroom, baby, but I'm going to need it for a while. And that's fine. Because it's not killing me. It's not killing me. And you know what? Mayonnaise is fattening. And if it all comes out the next morning, then I didn't gain any weight. And it's not just that kind of stuff. Everyone knows mayonnaise isn't great for you, but get this one. Broccoli. Broccoli. Talking about romaine lettuce killing people. I had the healthiest meal during the holidays. Salmon and steamed broccoli. What could be healthier, right? I was up all freaking night. And it was the broccoli, because I rarely eat broccoli. And I love it, but it was the broccoli. What am I going to do? Never eat broccoli again? That's ridiculous. It's so good for you, right? Not for my 54-year-old colon. No. My irritable bowel got really irritated that night. So while these diseases are not funny, what you're going to see in this season's show is I am going to do some comedy. I'm going back to my comedy roots. I missed it. And some of this stuff you can actually laugh at. And then you do think about the seriousness and thinking about, I guess, your own mortality as you get older, and you realize that you can't eat the way you did when you were 25 or 35 or 45 or 49 or 50 or 52. I know. And it is a little bit scary. I'd like to hear if any of you have had these experiences where you've been either diagnosed with something or someone thought you had something where it was going to change the way you eat for the rest of your life, and how you dealt with it and how you feel about it, because I'm going to tell you what I think, and then I will be happy to hear and comment on what you think. And I promise the shows are going to be a little longer this season, because I really want to discuss this with you. And I want you to feel free to discuss with me as well. And I believe that anything is okay in moderation. A tablespoon of mayonnaise will not ruin my life. For diabetics, a tablespoon of rice or 2 spoons of rice, a half a cup of rice or a half a cup or a cup of pasta once a month, twice a month, not going to hurt you. Having bread once a week, a half a cheese sandwich or a half of a bologna sandwich, not going to hurt you. And even having a little sweet here and there. I don't have a sweet tooth. I'm very lucky there, so sweets don't bother me at all. But even having a sweet every now and then. Because to me, it's like when I diet, I don't diet. I live it. I don't like the word diet because it's too restrictive. I don't restrict all these diets that say, well, you can't have this and you can't have that. No, I never did that when I lost weight. I lost 50 pounds, and I never denied myself the foods I love. I just didn't eat as much of them as often. And I think that's the way to control these diseases. And I do think that any disease that is caused by food, which there are many, that if a doctor says, well, the reason you got this is because of your diet, then before you take those pharmaceutical drugs, before you become a repeat customer, which is what they want, and remember this, when you start taking these prescription drugs, your body starts getting used to the drugs, and the organ that's affected by these diseases gets lazy. And I heard that from a nurse, by the way. If you're on drugs for diabetes, your pancreas gets lazy, and eventually that drug doesn't work, and then they add another drug. You see it on TV all the time. If your regular diabetes drug isn't working for you, well, adding Barciga, now you're on 2 scripts with side effects because your body got immune to the first drug. If there is a way that you can forego the script meds, with the IBS, there's scripts for that. I'm not taking any scripts. What I am doing is I'm taking a probiotic every day. And sometimes if I see a change or feel a change, I'll skip the probiotic. But I'm taking a probiotic over the counter. And it works. Especially if I take the probiotic right before I eat the gyro, or the French fries, or the coleslaw. I find that my symptoms might be there, but they won't be as severe. That's what I do. If you get diagnosed with an illness, that changing your diet just a little bit, maybe getting some more exercise, if that will keep you off these script drugs, because this is what their goal is, to get you on prescriptions. Google the illnesses I mentioned at the top of this show. And I promise you, you will see big things across the screen. This script, this pill, that pill. They want you on the farm drugs. While Political Paula wants you off the pharmaceutical drugs. They make you sicker. I want you to at least try. And please, if any of you have successfully beaten any of these illnesses by simply changing your diet, let me know. And I also want to tell you guys, if you've just recently been diagnosed with something and you are feeling overwhelmed by, I can't eat this, I can't eat that, I can't eat that, you know what? Calm down. You can eat that. You just can't eat that every day. And you can't eat the whole damn box, the whole pizza, the whole hoagie. Cut it in half. The freezer is your friend. If someone brings you cookies and you're like, oh, cookies, I can't eat cookies. Yes, you can. You have one cookie and then you wrap the rest of them up individually. You put them in the freezer. And when you feel like a treat, that you've done a good job, you test your blood sugar, it's a good blood sugar, you have a cookie or half a cookie. Get it out of the freezer. They last forever in the freezer. It's moderation, and it's also being happy. So many doctors today and other you be healthy and happy. Well, I say to you, you can't be both. You can't. And for right now, today, for as long as I can, I choose happy. Political Paula out.